Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Luna Negra. If you're new, welcome. Also, if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. We're trying to meet our goal of 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there, guys. So yeah, welcome back to Motivational Mondays. Today is the second week of the series. Last week we talked about learning how to say no, and today we will be talking about learning how to stop caring what people think. Okay, it's pretty simple. When it comes to not caring what people think anymore, it does take practice. Of course, for some people, it comes more naturally than others, but it's something that I feel everybody has to practice at. Because, when we're in a society that places judgment on you for dressing a certain way, listening to a certain music, or pretty much anything, you can breathe and you'll be judged for it, so I kind of would say that I fall somewhere in line of somebody who has it easier to really not care what people think. First, let me share with you guys a funny story from my childhood that defines who I have always been as a person at the core, and really most of it has to do with how you value yourself, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and knowing your self-worth, knowing your place, and also being humble as well. So I remember a time when I was in maybe 7th or 8th grade, and these new girls joined our school. They quickly became popular, and popular girls with that cliche kind of personality, bullies and whatnot. So one day I remember being in class, I think it was science class or something, or maybe English, and I was sitting there minding my business, and then I look over at the group of popular girls, and they're staring at me, and kind of talking amongst themselves, and then I just kind of looked at them, and I'm just like, what are you looking at? And then they replied, something ugly. And my initial response to that was to laugh, because even then I was confident in myself. I was self-assured. Some people, in response to that may be a direct attack on their self-esteem, and they may either respond by crying or being upset or self-doubting, like, oh, am I really ugly? Some people might take that to heart, and obviously to me that was the funniest thing in the world. But yeah, see, it just really depends on your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and just knowing yourself, being secure in yourself, basically. So yeah, now we're gonna get into ways that you can practice not caring what people think. And again, this is something that is so important because it really just defines your life. If you're constantly worrying about what people think and all of that, and just having these stress-inducing, anxiety-provoking thoughts, then it's just like, are you really even living your life the way you want to live it? So, like I mentioned in my last video, one key thing to always keep in your mind is to ask yourself, whenever you come across a situation and you start thinking those thoughts like, oh, I don't know what to do, what are they gonna think? Like you see in the movies, the angel versus devil on the shoulder, and you're just like, do this, no, do that. When you're at these crossroads in this situation, what you have to do is ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And when you really think about it, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, you're not gonna die, you're not gonna get physically injured, your family's not gonna die, like nothing to the extreme. Like, the worst that can happen is somebody either judges you, at the worst case spreads rumors about you, but for the most part you'll be fine. You'll move on from your life. Sometimes if it's a situation with a complete stranger, you'll never see them again, so who cares? And again, to give like another quick example, like my husband, he's the kind that is just constantly worried about what people think. Like, he completely avoids confrontation at all costs. For example, he hates taking me to restaurants because if we order a meal and I don't like it, I'm gonna complain and send it back and either get something new or get my money back. But he's the kind of person which, if you're this kind of person too, let me know if this sounds familiar. He's the kind of person that he'll get food, he tastes it, he doesn't like it, he'll continue eating it, he'll pay for it, and he'll leave, even though he did not like the food at all. No, I'm completely opposite. If you're paying for something, if you're paying for a service or whatever, and it's not satisfactory, then it's just like, why waste your money? Take a couple bites. If you don't like it, hey, something's wrong, send it back. And that's it, period. Like, what's the worst that can happen in that situation? The employee says no. Okay, if they say no, call the manager. If the manager says that there's nothing they can do, which usually is not the case because they want to avoid any kind of conflict at all with the restaurant, if they say there's nothing they can do, all right, just leave and then write a review on Yelp or something and tell people about this company. So yeah, it's not the end all be all. It's not the end of the world. So if you're stuck worrying about something or worrying about what people are gonna think, it's really not that big of a deal. It's really not. So to recap, when you're practicing, just remember to ask yourself, okay, what's the worst that can happen? And you'll see that most of the time it just won't be a big deal. So what? Also, if you do struggle with self-esteem issues, low confidence, and things like that, I would highly recommend maybe seeing a therapist about it, or get a mentor, somebody who can help boost your confidence. I mean, I hope I could be one of your mentors if that's the case, but I'm always here to just give you guys tools in life to just be happy, because that's always my ultimate goal, is unconditional happiness. Unconditional happiness, meaning it doesn't depend on what other people think of you, it doesn't depend on material things and things like that. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for next week's Motivational Mondays. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like my content. Bye!